Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Fitz, Crittle Photography, and I wanted to start a series of videos discussing the 100 Strangers project I completed several years ago. For those of you who aren't aware of the project, I found it on Flickr. I was browsing through Flickr one day and I came across this group called 100 Strangers. And the objective of the project is to approach someone and ask them if you can take their photograph, and in the process learn some information about them, and then take that experience and then add the photo to the group on Flickr, and I'll add the links below to that particular Flickr group, and kind of write a little bit of information about your experience. And so the objective is to do that 100 times. And what it really is designed to do is, number one, help you get over your fear of speaking to people, learn more about people, also to improve your photography. And it's a fantastic challenge. And if you have a fear of working with people, or you want to learn more about photography or be a better photographer or just grow as a person, I highly advise you to engage in the 100 Strangers project. And you don't have to have a professional camera. You know, if you have a cell phone, camera phone, that'll work just perfect, because it's really about the engagement, and in the process you'll become a better photographer. So today I want to talk about my very first stranger, Nicole. Now, I first saw Nicole at Clyde Warren Park when I lived in Dallas, Texas. The park was brand new, and I actually went there one morning just to take a look at it. I brought my camera with me, just take some photographs, but I didn't have any intentions on actually starting the 100 Strangers project. But when I got there, I saw this lady get there, and she had this real kind of funny looking hat on. And it was the first thing that drew my attention. And it's a great conversation starter. So if you're going to engage in the 100 Strangers project for the first time, find something about your subject that you find interesting. Whether they just have a great smile, they're very attractive, maybe it could be the clothes they're wearing, their style, their smile, their laugh, a gesture, or just something like that that sort of draws you to them, because it's a great way to sort of begin the conversation. And so that's what I told Nicole. No, I went and introduced myself to her, and I said, I really, you have a very interesting hat on. I explained the 100 Strangers project to her, and I asked if I could take a couple of photographs of her. And she said, sure, you can take them while I'm doing yoga. Come to find out, Nicole is a yoga instructor, and she was at Clyde Warren Park to teach a class. And so while she was getting everything set up, she started kind of warming up and doing her yoga poses. And while she was doing that, I just kind of sat back and took a couple of photographs of her while she was doing that. It was a great experience. I got her email address, and I did send her some of the photos. And probably about a year or two later after that, about 2 years later, she actually befriended me on LinkedIn. That was my very first stranger in this project. I'm going to tell you that you're going to be fearful. There's going to be some anxiety, there's going to be some hesitation, because you're always wondering about what people think. And having shot more than 100 strangers, the overwhelming majority were cool with it. And very few people actually said no. And no one ever got nasty and everything like that. I think you might get a look from somebody and say no, and you learn kind of when to approach somebody and when not to. You also learn when to go to certain areas and what areas to avoid. Things like, if someone looks like they're in a hurry, yeah, it's not a good time to have to take their photo. People who are in a very crowded place like a mall or something like that, I think most people feel a little bit less likely to agree. So normally, if you can find somebody kind of maybe off, it can be around people, but if they're maybe off to themselves a little bit, somewhere you can kind of have a conversation without anybody else being around. Although I have walked up right at somebody in the midst of a crowd and said, hey, I'm working on this 100 Strangers project. Do you mind if I take your photograph? So you kind of learn the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts while you're in the project. But just want to get that first one, so I'm going to go over all 100. It won't be 100 videos, because sometimes I did multiple strangers at the same time or during the same sort of period or session. So I want to start with Nicole. She was my very first 100 stranger in that project, and she was a joy to work with. She had a great personality, and I really enjoyed enjoyed her taking her photograph. So anyway, this is Fitz Crittle Photography with the very first stranger, Nicole. Peace, and I'll see you in the next one.